Welcome to Sidesteppin Adventures. I'm at Tennessee Adventure. Guess where I'm at? And I can't believe that I have cell service right here. But this here is my sixth great grandpa, Greenberry Wilson. I cannot believe I've got enough service to do a live stream. And this is Tempi. She was a Bradshaw. Bradley, I gave you her her mom and dad's information to you a couple weeks ago. But I can't believe I have service right here. I looked at my phone and I'm like, shoot, I've got 4 bars. Hey, Larry, I can see you this morning. You know what I did? I took, what I did was I thought, well, maybe if I delete the app and then reinstall the app, it might help. And it did. So how you doing, Larry? Good to see you. Finally. Have you had a good morning? I ain't had my coffee yet. But yeah, I'm shocked to be able to get a live stream. I can't go down there. Past the fence, there's nothing. But right here, we got my sixth great grandpa and my sixth great grandma. And I can't believe this. I'm ecstatic. Happy Easter, brother. He has risen. But since I can't go down there, I can zoom in on the farmhouse. Now, Grandpa Greenberry built that house that you see right there in 1796. Right there. The house right there. But it started out as a log cabin. Now, the inside is all original. The front is original. Now, I don't know when they added the second floor. That might have came after Grandpa passed away. But yeah, this is where he was a squatter. Happy Easter, Fan. I can't pronounce the rest of it, so I just say Fan, okay? Miss Kim's working. She's my pronunciation. She does that. I'm like, well, how you pronounce that? But this is my sixth great grandpa, Greenberry Wilson, his farm. Hi there. I can't pronounce your name, but you just come on. Ad, I just call you Ad. How's that? You got to do something where people can pronounce that name. But hey, you know, each to his own. But here is where Grandpa Greenberry is buried. And I can't believe I've never checked. This is the first time that I've been able to do a live stream right here. So happy Easter to all of you. I need to zoom back out. But this is the family cemetery for the Wilsons. Greenberry, of course, is my sixth great grandpa. He built that house over there. It was a log cabin. It still is on the inside. But in 1796, and this was all Indian territory too, so I don't know. And remember, right above the house, right about right there, is where I filmed. Remember the Indian Mound video? That's where that's at. I, I think maybe right in there, actually. But Grandpa, he was a Revolutionary War vet too, so that's pretty interesting. But we'll check out some other graves. Now, if you are a Bradshaw, we might be related because Tempi, she was a Bradshaw. That was her maiden name, Bradshaw. So here's some of their kids right here. Nancy Jane. Well, not the grandkids. I got, I had to, I had to look at that again. Now this is a granddaughter of Tempe and Greenberries right here. And this is a son, or I don't know. This is a grandson of Greenberries. Here, right here. I got it confused, folks. Sorry. And then, uh, she was a granddaughter. I love these old cemeteries. Martha W., wife of George E. Tollett, which is come kin to the Tollets, born July 17th, 18, I think that's 86, ain't it? To February 26th, 1916. It took me a minute to put that into my mouth because, Larry, you still on? You having a good, have you had a good couple weeks since I've last talked to you? I tell you, buddy, I've had nothing but chaos. Well, not chaos. I had chaos with my uncle's funeral a little bit. And then, well, my car, it still ain't the best. I'm just driving it till it finally poops out. Then I'll haul it back home, figure out what I'm gonna do. But I just drive it back and forth to work, 'cause the thing's gonna get me killed. But I ain't got the money to get nothing else. Now that's, uh, she's a gray, I don't know who she is. I ain't even had no coffee. I forgot to pick up some coffee when me and Kim we went by the store. Well, I got some water to drink, but I forgot the coffee. So some of these I'm not related to. Now I am related to the Curlies, but it's a boys. I looked into that. This down here it's gonna crumble. Let's see if we can, who is that? Anybody make that out? Almost looks like Charlie, don't it? Charlie Otis Curly. But November what? 20th, 1909 to December 20, That looks like 26, but I don't know. You 20th or 26, 1912. He was very, very young. Good thing I got that because look at that thing. It's fixing to crumble. I can't believe I can do this cemetery. If I would have known I could have done this cemetery, I would have done it when I first started. Well, when YouTube would have let me start the live streams. But I used to work. I used to work just as a dead end road. Hey, Jason, you guys can talk to me because I can see you all now. So just don't stop. Don't just pass me on by now because I can see you now. Hello, Jason. You doing okay? Happy Easter. He has risen. Thank you, Lord. Because if he hadn't, we'd been up creek, wouldn't have we? But he did. Best wishes for Sunday. You keep saying that singer, Randy Travis. No, not me. I don't think so. I got a brother named Travis. Randy Travis is back singing his voices. Oh, you're telling me. You keep saying that Randy Travis is back singing. His voice is open up to Dr. Toad YouTube. Oh, you're telling me that. Okay. Huh. Well, that would be good if it did, but I don't know. I'm not saying nothing. I don't follow country stars no more. I'm too busy. I'm too busy doing life. So, And I I found out what's going on with my back, folks. I've got they told me I've got if you ever heard of it, it's called it could be osteoporosis, but it ain't. It's osteopenia. It's before that. My bones are shrinking or losing their mass. The so they've got me on 600 milligrams of uh, calcium, 1,000 of the vitamin D, but I kind of take a little bit of 2,000 and 1,000. I probably shouldn't take the 2,000. Kim, Miss Kim, ain't that pretty? When I come up here, that's the first thing. I love that. Ain't that so beautiful? Miss Kim, that's what I want on my tombstone. And a raccoon under the guns. Yeah, that'd be good. Bury me with my coonpecker toothpick around my neck. I'm not joking. I've got one somewhere. It's probably in storage. Now for you guys that are going, yuck. Good morning, Pluck. How you doing, brother? Mr. Mooner? Not no more. I took them pictures off the phone, brother. I ain't gonna be mooning nobody else. Those were supposed to be for the doctor, you know. I'm sorry. Anybody that don't know what we're talking about? 3 weeks ago, me and Miss Kim did a live stream down in Cookville area, Putnam County, and well, the sun was so bright that day that uh, I was trying to switch the phone like it is now. I was trying to turn it around like this. Well, because Kim was with me, and I accidentally hit the green screen. Like, I ain't gonna hit it. But I couldn't see what I did. So I hit a picture that showed my rear end. And that was for the doctor. And I didn't know what they were saying. I don't know until I got behind a tree. And I tried to get in a shade. This is what I was like. I was like in the middle of a shade trying to cover the phone so I could see. And once I seen what I had people looking at, I was like, holy crap. Sorry folks, I got to end this live stream. And then about that time Miss Kim's like, Jason, what am I looking at? And then she saw what she was looking. She said, Jason. I'm like, sorry, I can't help it. I'm like, sorry, people, I got to go. And then I'm deleting this live stream. Yeah, that was, hi, Angel. How you doing? Happy Easter. Lois, she just passed. I ain't been down here in a couple months. But this is springtime. Down here, they call this the Sasquatchy Valley. Kind of like for Indians. That's what it's named after, Sasquatchy, because the Indians been here. See, right down the road about 15 miles was the Trail of Tears for the Cherokee people. Went right through Tennessee. Unless you guys didn't know that, the the pathway is right down the road. The Trail of Tears. Larry Warner, he was my fifth or sixth cousin. He was a lawyer. He got me out of jail one time anyway. And this was his wife or sister. I can't remember anymore. It's pretty bad when you can't remember stuff, but she's a cousin. Helen, she's a cousin. The Selbies, I'm related to the Selbies here. Now, if your last name is Thompson, you want to stick around for just a minute because there's an old Thompson grave in here. Our law says Heaven's Gate. I like that. Here's George Thompson. He passed. He was born in 1819 or 1890. Sorry about that. Bloke, so you, yeah, I'm related. I'm not related to these people right here, but the Tollets, my fourth great grandma, Greenberry's daughter down there, that's my sixth great grandpa, his daughter married into the Tollet family. Then my fourth great grandma married into the Davenport family. So, yeah, there's a lot of genealogy in this cemetery for myself. Could be for some other people because, you know, you got to realize people had families like 60s stuff. People moved to other states, you know, especially if they had kids of 13 kids, you know, them 13 kids, not all of them are gonna stay in the same state, you know. So that's why I do what I do for genealogy. But I'll take you where it all started with my sixth great grandpa. Actually, this was all his land. Every bit of this was his land. He owned every bit. What you're looking at, he owned it all. I mean, this part right here, this is still in the family. This is still in the Wilson family after 260 something years. My fifth my fifth cousin, he owns the front part, and my other fifth cousin, he owns the back part. But this is Greenberry Wilson. Pretty interesting, ain't it, Block? And Tempe was a Bradshaw. So if you're a Bradshaw, you might be related to me. I'm going to post her mom and dad on her information about her on the community post here in a day or two. So uh, please remind me to do that. Okay? Somebody on here, you be my brain for me, 'cause the older I get, my brain is, I don't know, went on vacation, I think. But that's the house that Greenberry Wilson built. That was a log cabin. But then, you know, 1800s, mid 1800s, they put the what do you call it? The beadboard. They put that on the outside, but it's still on the outside. It's not changed. Ain't that beautiful? Now right there, that's the old barn. Right there, that needs to be redone. Now the old barn burnt down in 1938, and somebody burnt inside. He's buried right over here, John Sherrill. So my fourth cousin, she was there when the barn burnt down, and so she picked up what was left of him and put him in a box, and they came over here and buried him over here. Now I don't know too much about John. I know he's got family, 'cause my fifth cousin told me that he had talked to the family. So that's his grave. John A. Sherrill. Yeah, it is, Frosty. It's a very beautiful place. You all, I can see you now. I can talk to you. Ain't that beautiful? I get to communicate back and forth with you and me. Beautiful. After 2 weeks of not being able to figure out what was going on with the phone. So please like and share, subscribe, and if you wonder why I talk like I do, I guess I got time to explain to you on here why I talk like I do. I'll go to the old and new, okay? The older ones right here. But anyway, the reason why, thank you, Frosty. I appreciate that. The reason why I talk like I do is because, well, I was born with a high-pitched voice, okay? All through school, I was made fun of, picked on, beat up. You can kind of get a visual of that. I was a scrawny kid with a high pitched voice, so anybody bigger than me, I was just open game for them. So when I was 17, I moved from Missouri when I was, well, first time 13. Then I moved back to Missouri. Then I moved back here in 88 because Daddy, he's born and raised here in Tennessee. Well, the I forgot who did it, but I think the school somehow arranged for me to go to the doctor, and uh, then the doctor he put a scope down my throat, and I was 17 at the time, and he said that my vocal cords were messed up, and with some surgery, I could talk like normal people. So till I was 27, from 17 to 27, I was going around telling people, the doctor told me that if I got an operation, I could talk like John Wayne. Is that you, Pilgrim? Well, anyway, I had some trouble going on when I was 27 with my chest. I was having chest pains. And so my doctor here in Crossville sent me to Salem, North Carolina, the Baptist hospital there. And if any of you all are from Salem, North Carolina, you know where I'm talking about. So I went up there for 2 weeks. Well, at first they wanted to figure out what was going on, the reason why I was having the chest pains, and that was because of I was having severe acid reflux. The acid wasn't letting no oxygen get to my lungs and like that. So the next thing, they were like, we want to do a study on your voice and maybe figure out why you talk like you do. The reason why I'm doing that is because Fred's wife, Maria Sue, she's still living. So they hooked me up to this machine and told me to holler as loud as I could. And I said, are you sure you got insurance on that thing? Because I can get pretty high. And they're like, yeah, don't worry about it. Michael Jackson, he was here. He didn't break it. So if he didn't break it, you're not going to break it. So I hollered as loud as I could. And then they put these probes, like little needles, in my head. Like, what do you call that? What the Japanese do, pressure point. Well, they put these things all in my brain, and then they put me to sleep, and they did something, and then I had to wait like 3 or 4 days, and then come to find out, they said, Mr. Ford, with our studies that we've declared, you're not able to speak. You shouldn't be speaking. They said, the way they explained it to me, every one of us has a nerve in our brain that somehow it's connected to your voice box. Well, without the nerve, it's kind of like a volume switch for to the voice. Without the nerve, it's like you don't get nothing. People that are born mute were born with a nerve that is dead or they don't have the nerve. So I've got the nerve, but it's completely dead. And they said there's no medical explanation why I should be speaking. So I kind of looked at them and I said, so what you're telling me is I've got a God powered voice? And they're like, well, I guess you could say that. So, so yeah, I'm a miracle. So that explains it a little bit in more detail than the video, but since I got some time, yeah, I'm a miracle. I was called to preach when I was 13 years old. Uh, I tried to I went to the preacher and he told me I wasn't called to preach, to leave the preaching to him. And so then I felt the call again, I think when I was 21, 22. But by that time, I had done got out of church and went south, as you could say. I started doing drugs, drinking, partying. Then I went to church with my mom. I went up to Missouri to visit my mom. After church, we were driving back home to my mom's house, and my lights went off. It's kind of like, well, I went blind for 30 seconds, and within the 30 seconds, I saw myself preaching to thousands and thousands of people. And I could see like a camera. I couldn't see I couldn't hear what I was saying, but I could kind of get a visual of what was going on. And then it just quit. And then I'm like, looked at mom and I said, Mom, I think I'm freaking out. Because, well, I'll tell you what happened. After church, we were riding back from the church. Something the preacher had said was preaching on got my attention, and so I was reading about it in my Bible. So I shut my Bible, I looked out the window, and I was thinking, and Mom had the Christian music on and stuff, and I was thinking in my mind, man, I can't wait to get back to Tennessee so I can get drunk and get high. And about that time, that's when my lights went off, and I saw myself preaching in front of thousands and thousands of people. And then, well, you know what I just told you, but then my lights come back on, and I told Mom, I said, Mom, I think I'm freaking out. I really think I'm freaking out. And I told her what I told you guys, and she said she didn't know nothing about my lifestyle. Because at that time, well, thank you. Well, I've got things I got to take care of on my own. I always figure if a preacher's going to preach, he has to make sure he's right totally with the Lord. I mean, we're not perfect by no means, but you know what I mean. You know, there's a certain, I feel like there's got to be a certain standard and a certain holiness to somebody, you know, and I'm not quite there yet. So, but Mom said, if you don't quit doing what you're doing, God's going to put a wall around you so big and so tall you're never ever going to be able to get around it. And He did. He did whenever I met my wife, Miss Kim, because she wasn't going to have none of what I was doing. Now, this is my aunt. She is She is, I think, Elizabeth's and Claiborne's daughter. But now that I got that on the live stream, I'm going to look that up. And what does that say down there? May may angels may angels I don't know what that something this lonely spot oh, maybe watch with tender watchful care till Jesus calls us all from earth to be to meet with Mother there. That's beautiful, ain't it? So, I feel like there's gotta be a certain standard, you know. That's just me. I mean, but I do God's work in here. I talk about the Lord, and if you ain't right, you better get right and make sure you stay right all the time. Just look around us. The world's fixing to come undone, and Jesus is fixing to appear. So always make sure you're prayed up. Make sure your sins are forgiven. If you do something, make sure to repent right away. My theory is don't do it. Because while you're doing it, he could come back while you're doing it. And then you're lost. You know? Is it really worth that? I mean, but we all fall short. We all fall into temptation, whether we try to resist it or not. And if we do and keep on resisting it, finally it's just going to leave you alone. Been there, done that. I've been through all kinds of different crap in my life. I was addicted to drugs, alcohol, pornography. I mean, you name it, I was addicted to it. I just had one of them addicted personalities. But I ain't like that no more. God has changed my ways a lot. Thank the Lord. Good morning, Norma. Are you on break? Or are you not go to work yet? I think I showed the whole cemetery, Norma. So you'll have to watch the whole thing. But Norma, look where we are. I come over here. This is my sixth great grandpa, Greenberry Wilson. This is he's probably the first one that was buried here. But this is his farm. You got a live stream of the Greenberry Wilson farm. Now, if we go down there, it's like there's no service. But for some reason, I've got service right here. So talk about a happy camper, because I get to show you all this live. Oh, you didn't go in? Well, that's the house that my sixth great grandpa built. It still stands today. Family members can spend the night, but they won't. They think everybody says it's haunted. Now I've sit there in a rocking chair in the living room, quiet as a mouse. I ain't heard nothing. Well, I did one time when I was in the bathroom. I heard something. I don't know what it was, but I can't say that it was haunted, that there was a spook. But there's something up there on that hill. I know that because that's where I did the video for the Indian Mound. Yeah, after I left and got back on 127, my windshield wipers in the car started coming on by themselves. So don't tell me there ain't something up there guarding that. Yeah, it is. It is pretty. Where do you live? Uh, Frosty? What state? I didn't do that one. Oh, New York. New York. New York. Wow, that's a different area than it is here, ain't it? Jaybird. Now, how did you know to call me Jaybird if you ain't the second Jaybird? My neck and back? It's doing all right. I have an update on my back. I thought I was letting you see me. They said I have osteopenia that could cause the you know, I can't say it, but you know what I'm getting at. My bones are losing their mass. So, so they've got me on one pill a week for that. It's a medication. Then they've got me taking uh, every day. I have to take a calcium pill, 600, and I have to take 1,000 vitamin D. Nope, because I don't know how to do the back breaks, and they're drum breaks, and I need somebody that knows how to do drum breaks, because I don't know how to do the drum breaks. So, Kim said this morning that our brother-in-law, her sister's husband, he's a mechanic, so we're gonna call him up and see if he'll put the drum brakes on. But my car, it's bad. So, as you can see, I'm driving Miss Kim's car up there. Yep. Well, I showed y'all the whole shebang. Now, my fifth cousin, he's the owner of the place now. He told me that there's Grandpa Greenberry don't hold it against him, but he was a slave owner. But there's there's slaves buried in the cemetery, and I think around it. But we don't know how many. Yeah, but I'm driving it very, very carefully. Yep. Just put her in low when I got to creep so I don't have to hit the brakes. Like one of my bosses used to tell me, drive it like you ain't got no brakes. So that's what I'm doing with our car. I've had experience. I used to work. I ain't got no goats. That's you, Jason. Oh, you had me going. I didn't look at. You got had me going. I thought, who in the world is that? Yep, my car's about gone, about dead. And I wish I could text. I wonder if I can. Can I text while I'm doing a live stream on my phone? I don't know if I can. I'm afraid to hit anything because I might hit something. Oh, yeah, I think I can. Maybe. I can't. I don't. No, I can't. But anyway, I'll text it to you, Jason. It's kind of confidential. So, but don't want nobody to hear. So, well, y'all, this concludes this live stream. I'll probably do some more. And guess what? I can see you guys again. That's so awesome because you know what I did? I figured I'm like, well, what I'll do is I'll just delete the app from the phone and reinstall it on the app and see what that does. And it was kind of acting strange there for a minute, but then I'm like, yeah. So, but one more quick happy Easter to everybody on here. I hope you have a safe day. If you don't watch nothing else today, I hope you have a good rest of the week. And be careful out there. Be safe. I said that, but I'll be doing some more stuff today. Doing somewhere. There's a cemetery that I'm going to be documenting here in a couple hours. It's a small one. And I got some stuff coming to you guys. I just have to edit. Giving you a look at the mountains while I'm backing up out of the cemetery. Ain't that beautiful? Frost. Yeah, I'll drive that car slow, Frost. So remember to like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you on the next Sidesteppin adventure. See ya, Frosty. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. And do you do any videos? Norma, happy Easter to you. I'll do a live stream tonight, okay? So you guys can talk to Miss Kim, okay? We love you. Bye-bye. You take care. Happy Easter. Don't be eating too much chocolate, 'cause I did last night. I kind of got a little sick this morning. So take a stomach pill before you eat any of that. That'll help. See you later. I love you. Bye-bye.